cut out waste of about 5 to 6 million cedis. Not only that, when we were done with that, all those people sitting down and writing, Kofi Bakoni, Ashaiman, and so on, we took them off that duty because they didn't have to fill the paper anymore. And what we are seeing is that on the average, at each district, you are getting rid of 3 to 4 people who are performing that role. We know that with the NHIS at the healthcare facilities, you struggle because it means a lot more work. So what we said was, why don't we train these people to bring them to your doorsteps to become client officers and help our members navigate the complex NHIS, but also to make your work a little easier. It is really the reason why we're here, to think together how your work will be made easier, a lot more efficient, how we can have less failure on your claims, such that when they are presented, they will pass the test and they get paid. This and other initiatives are going to occupy our attention today, but also I believe into the future, in regards to how can we be a lot more efficient. Even at your level, maybe paper is killing you. Can we think together those things that we could do better? These are issues that I think we will deliberate successfully today. And without taking a lot more of your time, I welcome you and I thank you very much for your interest and your attendance. Thank you very much.
CEO and executives and everybody gathered here. For me, I look at when the National Health Insurance started, and I was just comparing Dr. Tanku, and I realized it's already 10 years. That time I was a district director, and it was part of our duty to go around and tell people about insurance and encourage them to register. We were going around from morning till evening, going to all sorts of places. And one of the questions that we always had was whether we were not going to prescribe inferior drugs to them. Everywhere we went to, that was the major concern. They thought that when they registered with the insurance and they went to the hospital, they would be given some other medication, let's say paracetamol, while somebody is given Diplo or something else. Another thing was that, wouldn't we take care of those who did not have insurance against them who had, because it was going to take a lot of time to retrieve their documents because of the filing at that time. So for me, going through up till now and seeing how the insurance has gone far, I believe that it is very good that we haven't stayed at a point, but we are thinking of moving it forward, and the reason why we are here today. I'm looking at a situation where, as health sector, we'll have the benefits of what we are going to hear today. Because one of the challenges that our facilities have been facing is where to keep the cats and how to retrieve them. We are even told of facilities where, because of the issues of retrieving, one person may have about 5 cats, and for some of them, our staff even keep the cats for them. So when you come and I'm not around, then you go for another one. So you find that one person would have about 5. And in some of our facilities, to overcome that and to save some money, they said that anybody who has cats, you bring them and we will offer you some token. And people actually brought out those bags, if you're Russia, with cats. Some of them only one sheet used, and they had to do all sorts of things to rid the facilities of all those documents. So it is very important that we are here today to hear what is going to happen. And if this is going to help us to reduce the bulk of the paper that we have in our facilities, I think that it is a good thing. So I'm happy to be part of it, and I hope that every member of our staff here would also pay a lot of attention, so that together we give all the best of care that we want to give to our clients. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to talk about the initiative of sending NHIA staff to the facilities. Is that making experiences count for our clients. And in this sense, the clients are not only subscribers, but also the providers. So it is to have a presence of NHIA at provider sites to assist in improving customer experience. It's expected to be of benefit to the subscriber, to the provider, and to the NHIS. We're expecting that the officers will help in the authentication of membership when they come for service delivery using the BMS equipment. Basically, we're thinking that for primary hospitals and below, we may need a minimum of 2 NHIS officers. Basically, we're talking of identifying the facilities for the Greater Accra region. We have already identified facilities. Then a pilot, which we have started in Sukulote and Lab. We are using 2 facilities, Rich Hospital in the Sukulote and Police Hospital in Lab.
Where if people have challenges, they can get them involved. There are 2 things. There might be a card that is not capable of being authenticated because of a problem in our registration process where maybe some of our staff didn't finish the process. But the second thing is that there might be people whose fingerprints cannot be taken. We take account of that, and we do have a system for an alternative override, but it's done with permission. So there are things in place for getting those challenges resolved. The second thing I would say in regards to the temporary cheats is that except any of my district directors can educate me, in the Greater Accra region, there is nothing but only biometric cards because we've implemented for more than a year. We do not have temporary cheats anymore, and we will give instruction to our staff at the facility that if we see such a cheat, it is something that has to be looked at and investigated.
I think sometimes the message we carry across sends a different, understanding to the clients. That's how come when they come to our facilities, they sometimes ask for more Guinness before discharge. I think this sanitation issue, we spend a lot with detergents and co, trying to make sure the public toilet is very neat. And that public toilet is not part of the health service delivery system. So let's just accept certain issues as such, so that we don't keep on preaching such messages, for them to think certain things are part of the health insurance package. Thank you.
We need to know what they are actually supposed to do, because this conflicting information is not really helping us. And the introduction of the system is really giving us a lot of pressure, in the sense that once someone is verified, we are supposed to create a CCC code and then write it into the claim sheet that has been printed out. We have a software that generates the claim sheet, and the CCC code is generated. You copy it into a separate paper, enter it into a system before it is printed out. When it is being printed out, it is not coming out with the CCC code. What happens is that you have to also spend another time to copy about 15-digit number into the claim sheet. It is taking a lot of time, so it is creating a lot of crowd at the group sheet. So if someone is coming to access quick healthcare, and the essence of doing that is to make sure that you facilitate or even reduce waiting time. And this, we're thinking that when they come in, they are supposed to help, especially where we have pressure. But the inflation is really coming out with other issues. Because we're not having that challenge when we're not using the education machine. Now it's being used and it is coming out with its own challenge. So how do you resolve it? So I was suggesting that those that were not able to generate their CCC, the education is still going on. Is it possible for us to have a grace period? Because the warning is that once we allow someone to pass without being verified, we might not get our money. And the fear is that if we don't get our money, the blame will be on the records unit. That we are making them, the hospital or the facility lose this money. what do we do? Can we be given a grace period so that this education can go on for at least 3 months? So that this, we will find we're getting, resolving these issues as we go along, so that until we become used to this system and everybody get to this information that if you come with this issue, this is what is going to happen.
And I'm very happy for that, because you are bringing out the real issues. And what you talk about, I don't have an answer. Because in developing such systems, sometimes some of the very basic details are lost on us. And I will say that we will note this, and we will sit and engage with you. Mr. Tete, you are here. Is Mr. Tete here? No, he's not. Now, we will engage with you, and I think my team will take your particulars because your insights are really very useful. And that's the reality.
I want to know the qualifications of these officers that will be posted to our facilities. And we might have to look at the numbers. You said it's not policy, it's not cast in concrete. We might have to look at the numbers. And again, whereby we feel that there are some extortions happening, it will normally happen over the weekend. It will normally happen probably at night when we don't have the key staff in place. So the hospitals run a shift system, and so we look at placing such officers to also do same. And there are lots of comments. There are a lot of issues we need to talk about. We can't say it here. The issue that you raised, you said you don't have an answer, and so we will talk more. But I want to touch on the washroom issue that came, that facilities are charging patients for the usage of said facilities. I happen to be in the Judiciary Court complex, the new complex that has been built. And there's a facility in the complex, and the notice there is pay as you use. Pay as you use. Again, when we even look at our public toilets, that is being put out by AMA. People pay before they eat. We want to make clients have better experience. And for me, if I go to your home, the washroom speaks volumes about you. And facilities will need to, as you said, we need to get the needed logistics. If health insurance wants to engage us and add it to the tariffs, and the payment will come on time, we would gladly embrace it. But if not, then we would have to, Marita Director is here, find a way of standardizing it, and then making it, not make it seem as if it's something out of context, so that when they come to our facility, they will have good washroom facilities to use. Thank you very much.
The important thing is to train them and give them a package of skills that they will use to operate at the facility. And they are not really going into technical health issues. So we think it's more of a client relations thing, and we'll train them appropriately to get that interface and service. If that is the way the health sector is to go, there should be policy. And I think that should be driven at the ministry level, because if the ministry thinks that's the way we have to go, fair enough. But it's not only the fact of charging, there will also be ways of monitoring that the services that are being rendered are actually of good quality. And so it's a big thing. And I'm sure within the Ghana Health Service itself, you get to a facility which is charging 1 CD, another 50 pesos, and another using, I don't know what kind of detergents. There has to be something that, if that's the way we're going, it should be specific, policy-driven, and people can be held to account. That's just the argument that I was making. All too often, we see charges spring up without discussion. And what we have to remember is that we live in a legal sphere where every public charge is subject to approval by Parliament. Every charge at a hospital. Now, we circumvent some by using administrative means of doing it, but legally we are not on solid ground. That is why I keep saying, let's go back to policy. Let's get it properly done, with proper legal and policy backing, if that's the way we're going. and then we'll move on from there.
The idea of having NHIS officers posted to the facilities is a very laudable one. However, in view of the financial challenge that the NHIA finds itself, engaging new people to come and do this, I believe will add to the cost of the NHIA. And already they are financially challenged so far as the payment of claims are concerned. Can we then suggest that for facilities that can, for example, at La General Hospital, we have the NHIS coordinator. If the service providers can decide to maybe give 2 people to be trained by NHIA for this function, and if that can be done, at least it can save costs, and then also having the space limitations as most of our health facilities, I think it would be a very good idea. It can work, and we want to be of help.
Thank you, La General Hospital. The way you said it was very nice, because I think La General Hospital is not in financial constraints. But what I meant to say was that, and if you listen to the presentation carefully, we are going to free staff who are doing other mundane activities. So for a start, these are not new employments. But secondly, I think the suggestion you made is also interesting. I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all for everywhere. As I said,